Is it possible to make a mobile game in just 1 minute? The question could seem easy, but the solution is not that simple. At least my solution. That's because I don't want to just drop a ball in the scene and call it a game. I want to make a game which has two criteria: a goal, and it must be at least a bit fun to play. I'll be using Unity engine, but no other libraries except the ones built in, so I wouldn't be able to just set up everything in the editor and have a complete game. And also I want to take this as a personal challenge. That means make it actually under a minute, not just squeeze the footage so it looks like I made it on time. My strategy will be to make as little code as possible. Ideally use only one script for the whole game. But there's a problem. Every time I create, edit or remove a script, it recompiles, which takes something like 10 seconds to complete. So I will first make the editor part of the game, then open Visual Studio Code and finish with writing the actual script. The biggest problem was to come up with an idea for the game which was simple enough but not too boring. My first idea was a cookie clicker, but the actual fun part of the game are the upgrades, not the clicking. The second idea was a platformer, however the map would be too difficult to make in time. Finally, I've settled with the idea of a car avoiding obstacles, which gets harder over time. My first attempt was rough. I wanted a score text in the game and a script which randomly spawns cubes while the car moves up with an increasing speed. It took me 7 minutes and it didn't even work. So I had to make the gameplay more simple. It turns out writing code takes more time than I expected. I removed the text with the score and instead of random generation, I'm gonna make the level myself by copying the obstacles in the way and hope that it will be playable.
Bruh.
Also, I'll take an advantage of Unity's physics system. I'll just assign a rigid body component to each obstacle and let it freefall. Thus, the game will get harder over time using gravity, without needing any additional lines of code. So the only parts of code left is movement and dying when hit by a spike. I don't have time for a menu with buttons to restart, so it will just reset the scene automatically. That leaves me with like 3 lines of code, which I should be able to type in like 30 seconds. My second attempt was better, but still far from a success. 1 minute and 42 seconds. I felt this was doable with some practice, but it still needed some improvements. When I looked at the video footage, the coding part still took the majority of the time. So I asked ChatGPT if it can make my code shorter, and it could. It trimmed like 30% of the code, which for sure helped. And after like 30 failed attempts, when I either made a syntax error or I was 4 seconds over the limit, I've hit almost a perfect run with a time of 58 seconds. Yeah, but I misspelled one of the functions. Well, after a good night of sleep, I've realized I'm stupid. Why the hell am I writing all this code when I can just use the autocomplete? So I tried again. This time, however, with an autocomplete turned on. And on the first try, I did a 58-second run with ease. And with no syntax errors or misspells. So that's it. A fully working mobile game made just under a minute. Actually, it's not that bad. And I think it also takes some skill to complete. Or I may just have no skill at all. Either way, thanks for watching, and if this video gets 100,000 views, I'll put the game on Google Play.